Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we're dropping in. It's day one of a 7-day retreat that Lavina and I have just arrived last night. It's about 5 other people. We're staying in this house in Cerro de Oro, still on Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. And we've been reflecting on the role of ceremony in relationships and the role of transformational healing work. So that's where our ideas are at, and the role that can play in relationships.
Yeah, and ceremony can be anything. It's anything that's bringing a greater awareness to what's happening right now, I think, and also involving some kind of internal work with the intent of growth. Yeah.
Yeah, accelerating that growth. Like ceremony is a time of really tuning into the areas of my life or one's life that are asking for attention.
Yeah, and with hyper focus of that intention. Like, what is it that I'm looking to experience? What is it that I'm looking to shift, to release, to welcome in? And so that's been a lot of my contemplation with my morning meditation. What are my intentions for this journey, this ceremony that we'll be engaging in?
This is the second week-long retreat that Lavina and I have experienced together. This is a very different retreat from the first one we did.
I think we can reference.
Yeah, the first one was back in August in Seattle with a school called the International School of Temple Arts. And just can't explain what it is in much detail, but can just say that it's a daily regimen of different healing modalities and techniques to awaken and illuminate and examine different aspects of the self through spirituality, through um, sexuality, and through shamanism, through those kind of three perspectives, those lenses on looking at the self.
Yeah, and in that experience, there we're coming into the space where we're doing deep work on ourselves. So there's a lot of processing that comes up because we're on our own journey. And when we're diving into a space and in this container, we're also there's the self, there's me, there's you, and then there's our togetherness, the unit that we are. So we're kind of working with these three entities. So it can be a lot, because a lot of stuff comes up, a lot of shadows may come to the surface, and a lot of stories, and it's there's the potential to project and to maybe retract or to attach. So there's a lot to be mindful of as we're entering into this sacred space, and that's something that we've been communicating about this morning, how we want to go about that. And it's a really beautiful process to get to tune in to our individual intentions. And I think we're blessed to share a greater vision, which then we bring that into the equation. So yes, I'm going on my journey and I have my intentions, and you're going on your journey with your intentions. And as we're moving through this space and we're moving through these processes, I intend to stay open to communicating about how these transformations can fit together so that we can grow in our power as a couple to share all of this medicine that we're receiving with the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fine balance in having my own experience, allowing Lavina to have her experience, but also just knowing that we are here together because we want to work together in this life. We want to collaborate and co-create. And so it's really amazing that we're both right around the same age. We're very close in age, and we're really very much aligned in our visions right now. Over the past couple months, we've been becoming clearer and clearer about what exactly we want to do as far as a career, how we want to offer to the world our gifts and our skills, and what what we need in exchange for that. And so it feels like as we enter into this ceremony, and this is a different kind of retreat ceremony where we're going to be working with different plant medicines. And in this retreat, um, our intentions are more around okay, we have our visions clear about the kind of work that we want to do. Now it's about shedding old habit patterns and really claiming the power that we know we need to be, like claiming that being those people that we know we can be, we know that we are in our truth,
Yeah.
so that we can best offer what we know we have to offer.
Yeah, and that's so. I've sat with plant medicine recently over the solstice, and I was in a very different place. At that time in my life, I was feeling like, okay, I am so ready. I am open. I am looking for clarity on my purpose and my path. What steps do I need to take in order to move forward, in order to feel as though I am on my path instead of out in this space of having all of these ideas? How can I bring them into order and into a structure to feel as though I'm actually walking on my path? And I received many downloads at that time, and here I am a month and a half, 2 months later, feeling as though I am I experienced, I was knocked down from sickness, and a lot of fear arose within me. And that's something that I'm constantly working with fear. This in this life, we're here and it's temporary. And when the fear, especially involving health, comes in, it brings up these thoughts of death. And with that, a lot of these old stories and patterns came up within me, and I realized that what I thought I had worked through and processed and let go of, it's like the story of the onion. You peel a layer, you peel a layer, peel a layer, peel a layer, and keep getting closer and closer, but there are so many infinite layers to be peeling away. So as I came into this state of vulnerability, I recognize that a lot of old stories and patterns about my relationship with food and my relationship with my body, my image, my self talk, all of these things came back up that I thought that I had transcended. So I just want to welcome in this idea that it's okay, to take steps forward and take a few steps back, because there was this feeling that I had fallen off and that I had regressed, and I was feeling guilt, all of these things. And I just want to welcome in compassion for the journey, compassion for the process, and recognizing that sometimes we need to take a few steps forward, and it's okay to take those steps back, because maybe that's a sign to redirect, or maybe that's a sign to get stronger, or you know yeah, to build up the strength so that taking those steps forward is in that full power. But
Yeah, and I think also, speaking to compassion, the language that we use is important. And so, like, oftentimes i've I've used words like letting go of old habits that no longer serve, um, another way I'm coming to understand it, especially as we learn more about astrology, is like, actually, these are all parts of myself. And all these different parts um, are integral to who I am. And the way that those parts interact can either be harmonious or they can be in tension. And
Hmm.
so, if there's tension, then yeah, perhaps I am experiencing uh, a negative relationship with food or experiencing jealousy. But those behaviors, those thoughts, just reflect a part of myself that can actually be um, redirected,
Yeah.
where I can, you know, say I'm like overeating. Um, that's a part of myself that's just like, all right, it needs to feel grounded, it needs to feel energized, or a part of myself that feels like um, insecure with other men. It's like, okay, well, there's an opportunity to, like, it shows a part of myself that like actually really longs for brotherhood,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like even enjoys the sense of competition with brotherhood. Like there can be a joy in competition. So all of these different habit patterns that we're going to be working with and we're intending to transform, it's not about like shoving them away. It's about
Yes.
understanding this is a part of me that I can bring into harmony with all the other parts of myself.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's so nice. And recognizing in a holistic view, like we don't want to push anything away. And that is something that we learned in ISTA, and it is something that resonates for me in the realm of Tantra. Instead of anything, you know, there are a lot of practices that are like, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Whereas, in my perspective, we are all of it. So, embracing my uniqueness, embracing my individuality, embracing these parts of me that maybe aren't as bright and beautiful, embracing and welcoming the parts of me that need more love and need more care. And can I witness them, witness my faults or flaws and shadows as like a child, as like a baby that just needs to be held and nurtured and cared for, to bring that darkness into the light, because everything that we experience in life can either be medicine or poison. The light or the dark. We're living in this duality and polarity, and we have the opportunity to direct our attention to where we want our energy to flow. And so, rather than saying no to the things and saying that they're bad or wrong, recognizing that there is no right or wrong, just there's just difference. It's all just a part of this universe that we're flowing through, and finding the place within me, utilizing a felt sense, seeing what feels like center, what feels like alignment, and taking steps to align with that place of what feels like home for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to bring it back to our relationship, that what's so powerful about being in relationship and entering into ceremony as part of a relationship is I get to see in Lavina all these parts externalized in another expression of consciousness. And that's kind of what makes like a twin flame, and what makes soulmates really is like, wow, you are such a reflection of all of these things, that these parts of me. I see it so clearly, like it's playing out right in front of me.
Mm.
And for it to, that's consciousness understanding itself by seeing it in another form. So, yeah, this is day one. We're intending to drop in with y'all every day, as much as we can, or as much as feels right. Um, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it for now.
Yeah, feels good. Blessings.
Blessings. Signing off.